The money's there, the priorities are not. And as you said, the wasteful spending, the lack of priorities with it, we need to stop the nonsense and we need to actually get these issues looked after and, as I said, make this country better for everybody in Canada.
My body, my choice is a joke, really. At this day and age is a joke. They're just branding that as a word, as some just empty words.
In talking on the streets, there's lots of people who want Canadian values, and now that the PPC has grown their presence, they see that that's a party that they can identify with.
We've seen the passing of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and the term Indigenous is purposefully vague. It doesn't mean any type of race or ethnicity, or doesn't delineate any specific group of people. This is going to have very detrimental effects on our property rights in Canada and our most fundamental laws in our country as well.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. And folks, I'm standing outside CBC headquarters. Have you ever been into the CBC? It's like a broadcasting Taj Mahal, paid for you by you, of course. And what a fitting place for Maxime Bernier to have a People's Party of Canada rally. As you know, the PPC is one of the only party I can think of that has come out and said defund the CBC, tear down this inefficient, hardly watched dinosaur. So it would seem that hundreds of people agree. Of course, once again, despite the size of this gathering, I don't see hardly any other members of the mainstream media. That's par for the course. They don't like the PPC message getting out. Right now, Randy Hillier, the ousted PC MPP, he's speaking to the crowd and getting a great reception. And who knows, do you think maybe some of these people might pay a visit to the CBC? Why not? They bought and paid for it. Let's check it out as the day goes on.
2 weeks to flatten the curve. And they said 2 weeks to not overwhelm the hospital.
When I spoke to Mr. Bernier in mid-August, he was confident that the PPC would capture 2 or 3 seats, maybe with those percentages, perhaps even more. What's your take?
Well, you know, one of the things I talk about is raising consciousness. So yes, I hope we get some seats. But you know, the thing is, momentum in a party is a big thing. And by the way, what would help us, the irony of standing right here in front of the CBC, and I can tell you I've had a career dealing with the CBC, and they've become a woke, literally like a Pravda is what they've become. And as soon as we get the media's got to come on side with reporting truth. When that happens, they'll be reporting what I'm hearing out there is that there are a lot of people who are afraid to talk to their neighbors. They're feeling what we are, but they're afraid to express it for fear of cancellation, for fear of this huge juggernaut of media wokeness. So I think that the key is it's critical mass, and I think we're achieving this critical mass to really turn it around for the future of the country. I'm confident of it.
What I can see, and from what everybody can see, the only party that stands against the mainstream narrative is the PPC. Like it or not, everybody knows we stand. Actually, we do have a plan to boost the economy, to cut the spending, to balance the budget, to put more money in your pockets, and to give your freedoms back. All the other parties, I apologize, all the other parties are pretty much saying the same thing. So it's indistinguishable. It's pretty much between the liberals and conservatives now. So I cannot really see the difference. If there is a difference, I would like to see that, but I don't see it.
One of the reasons what drove me to the PPC was their 4 founding principles: individual freedom, personal responsibility, fairness, and respect. And those are the same principles that a lot of my people they carried with them throughout history. And with the People's Party of Canada, they come to address Indigenous issues in a different way. They don't say, we're going to promise you this, we're not going to pass the clean drinking water crap back and forth over decades for political votes. They said, we're going to have these difficult conversations and we're going to find ways to move forward for everybody on a renewed relationship built on mutual respect and fairness for everybody. So I really appreciate that. And I said, when the other parties, how many decades are we going to sit back and let them promise to our people, our First Nations people in Canada, they're going to give them clean drinking water? We're not political pawns to be used, and it's time that we have our First Nations people participate in our federal government and make this country better for everybody.
If we end up getting our message out, then we get a majority. Like, I'm honestly feeling it. Every person that I talk to that doesn't know us, they read our policies and they love them. Every person that's a conservative loves our policies, but they think they're splitting a vote. Why would you keep pushing the Conservative Party left? Why would you do that?
What is this love affair the 416 has with Justin Trudeau?
I don't know if it's Justin Trudeau or the idea of the Liberals, which I don't think that the Liberals themselves live up to anymore. In terms of, there's many people who think they're for open immigration, but they vote more on identity than their ideals. And so, but in talking on the streets, there's lots of people who want Canadian values, and now that the PPC has grown their presence, they see that that's a party that they can identify.
Oh, folks, I'm so sorry to cut this video short, but it's not my fault. You see, the folks at YouTube, well, they're very sensitive when it comes to certain subjects such as vaccinations, electoral fraud, and so on and so forth. And if we trigger them, they'll deplatform us. So I implore you, go to Rumble, go to Odyssey, go to Super U, and of course, rebelnews.com. You'll get the full meal deal there. Rumble, Odyssey, Super U, they're not about censorship. They're about freedom of speech. Please go there and enjoy the rest of the video.